MEC Panyaza Lesufi says they're investigating the circumstances surrounding the resignation of a former principal accused of engaging in sexual acts with learners at a high school in the Gauteng's East Rand. Well, SABC News is not naming the school to protect the children involved. And photos making rounds on social media show the former headmaster engaging in sexual acts with learners inside what looks like a school office. One of the learners is wearing school uniform. About 100 parents have handed over a memorandum of demands to the high school, and they are demanding that the criminal charges be laid against the former headmaster and for teachers that are implicated in such acts to be removed completely from the school. Lesufi says they want to get to the bottom of this matter. The former principal resigned in October last year.
We are also suspicious that there might not be one person involved in this. That is why I'm saying we depend on your cooperation. If you then, after this, those of you who know anybody, not only in the school, anywhere else in Ekurhuleni, if you know anybody, particularly here because the problem is here, so that if you know anybody that's involved in activities such as this one, please come forward. The information that we have so far implicate one person. No. I am not, remember I have said that whatever information you have, please bring it forth so that we extend, if it is possible, if there are others as well that need to be investigated, we will do so.
Well, joining us on the line to shed more light on this matter is Gauteng Education Spokesperson, Mr. Steve Mabona. Steve, a very good afternoon to you. Always a pleasure. We are trying to get the details of what really is going on at the school. We understand the principal resigned in October last year, but what can you tell us about these allegations? Any truth to them?
Yeah, thank you very much. Remember, we committed that we're going to send our officials at the school. And they've been there since this morning, and they are still there actually at the school because they must then do what we call a debrief with all the employees, because they started with the learners and they also interacted with the members of the community. Now we are giving them an opportunity to also debrief the staff members and continue with the process of identifying other learners who might have been involved. And those that needed counseling, as we have already said, we have offered that. That has been continuing. So we are awaiting the officials to finalize the process so that they can give us an indication on how many of those educators or how many of those adults that we see on the pictures are educators, and just to identify all of them, and the learners, how many do we have, so that we then continue with the process of interacting with the parents, so that they can be assisted if there's cases that we need to open. We need to do that with the parents. So the work continues. We will be relying on the officials to give us more details on that.
Look, Steve, last year there was a surge of sexual assault cases across all our schools, and of course the department had vowed to clamp down on that. What extra measures are you now instituting to ensure the safety of learners at schools from such predators?
Look, we remember MEC committed to meet all the principals, and he did that. I mean, all the principals we met with, there was a commitment that an educator at the school level who will be a liaison officer, or the learners will know that this educator, we need to report if there's any sexual harassment or sexual abuse thereof. So we know that all the schools have that educator. So what we need to do is just to go back and check whether are learners happy about educator, because we'll continue to visit all the schools just to verify that they are comfortable with that the learner educator liaison officer, whom will be relying on to interact with us and other stakeholders.
All right, and Steve, looking from those cases that I've mentioned from last year, I mean, are these cases followed through and people being prosecuted? What assurance can the department give parents and learners when it comes to such intimidation or against or being taken advantage of in a school premises?
But remember, most of them, they are in court. I mean, the Parktown Boys case is in court. Though we know that this weekend we read that there were allegations of victimization, and we have launched an investigation to check on those allegations. And we went back to the school to support the learners because there's a culture of silence there, which we need to deal with. But all other cases, the perpetrators are still attending court, different courts, and we are supporting the parents. We are going there when they appear. We think that the justice system will assist us to make sure that they are, dealt with.
All right. And finally, Steve, we know that you've been sitting at meetings over the Hoërskool overval matter. Any resolution so far? And please give us an update maybe on those children that didn't have a school. Have they been placed now?
The children, as you might have realized, that we have placed them in different schools. But now the parents and ourselves, we are probably fighting a principle that you cannot say you are a fool, meanwhile we can prove that you are not fool. But then there's also an issue of language policy. So we are continuing to meet with all the stakeholders. Now we are meeting with the clergy, the reverends in the area and from the South African Council of Churches. So just to make sure that there's some sense of mitigation, we are here to listen to them, and we are willing to work with anyone who is a stakeholder in our environment. So we are very positive about the outcome of the meetings.
All right. And Steve, just a quick one. I know I said I was going to let you go. We heard, of course, an official urging that should people or children be witnessing any sorts of sexual assault at school, they can report the matter. But where exactly can they report these matters to, sir?
In all the schools, there's an educator that has been appointed to deal with these matters. So in a school where the principal and there's allegations of the deputy principal, then that we are very much challenged on that. But each and every school has an educator that has been appointed to deal with these matters. And if there's no such an educator, then we need to take that school to task. According to the meetings that we have met with them, actually everyone, we have an understanding that there is an educator that is responsible for all the cases of sexual assault.
Thank you so much, Steve. That is Gauteng Education Spokesperson, Mr. Steve Mabona, joining us on the line on various school matters.